2024 was a year of headlines, from presidential elections to coups and the grand finale of Taylor Swift's Eras tour. 3 equally important events in the world. But Earth wasn't the only place making headlines. The universe was buzzing with its own breaking news, from black holes that really suck to stars with scars, and even NASA beaming the first ever cat video from deep space, as far as we know at least. The world of space news has had its share of jaw-dropping moments this year. And it's not just the big stories that you've heard of, like auroras lighting up the night skies, or Congress debating this generation's biggest problems, aliens of course. We're diving deeper into the cosmic headlines, and I guarantee there will be plenty of things in this video that you haven't seen or heard. Also, find out what Voyager 1 and Sabrina Carpenter had in common in 2024. So lock yourself in and grab your cosmic passport, except maybe don't buy it from Australia, because we're about to blast off into the most mind-blowing space news of 2024. Starting off January with a bang, but literally and metaphorically, Neptune's true colour blew our minds. Turns out in true colour, Neptune actually looks more like Uranus. Wild, right? This revelation came from a study investigating how Uranus changes colour over its 84-year orbit around the Sun. Science is never dull, unlike Neptune. NASA also kicked off the year with an epic image of 2 stars going supernova at once. Double the bang for our cosmic buck. Meanwhile, astronomers discovered one of the most extreme pulsar wind nebulae near the galactic center. With a name like Pulsar Wind Nebula, how could it not be awesome? On the exoplanet frontier, JWST peered at Gliese 367b, a scorched, atmosphereless sub-Earth world. Meanwhile, Venus got a glow-up in the habitability department as researchers found that amino acids, the building blocks for life, might actually survive on the planet. Could Venus be less of a hellscape than we thought? Maybe. Over on Mars, Ingenuity's little helicopter journey came to an end after its 70-second flight in January. Perseverance even caught an image of the damaged rotor blades 5 weeks later. Our solar system's first aerial pioneer signing off. In lunar news, Japan's SLIM probe made history, making Japan the 5th country to have a soft landing on the moon. It wasn't all smooth sailing though, as it landed upside down and went quiet for 9 days before bouncing back to transmit data. Hats off to you, SLIM, for pulling through. Speaking of the moon, did you know it's shrinking? Shallow moonquakes near the South Pole are causing landslides and shrinking its surface by about 45 meters over hundreds of millions of years. No need to panic yet, but maybe avoid building a lunar base on a fault line. On the black hole front, 18 of them were spotted in a cosmic game of hungry hippos, gobbling up nearby stars and unleashing enormous bursts of energy. And in dark matter news, it's Nube fever. Astronomers found a faint, diffuse galaxy called Nube that lacks a dense star core, challenging dark matter models. Bonus fun fact, I actually worked in the same team as a lead researcher, Dr. Maria Montez, during my honours research days. Small universe, huh? To cap off January, another galaxy was found behaving oddly, just like a regular spiral galaxy with gas and dark matter, but no stars. Science is full of surprises. February saw records smashed as Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko clocked over 878 days and 12 hours in space, edging out the previous record by mere minutes. Meanwhile, Hubble reminded us it's still hot, releasing a stunning image of a stellar nursery 6,000 light years away with a massive star being born at its core. In cosmic mysteries, JWST and Hubble teamed up to confirm the universe is expanding at 73 kilometers per second per megaparsec, consistent with Cepheid stars and Type 1a supernova measurements. But this doesn't match the slower 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec rate from the cosmic microwave background, deepening the Hubble tension. Switching gears to heavy metal, stars, not music, a white dwarf named WD-0816-310 made waves with a metal scar on its surface, a cosmic reminder of the planets it devoured in its dying days. Watch out for its debut single, Metal Scar on a Cannibal Star. So silly. T Coronae Borealis, a binary star system 3,000 light years away, is poised for a nova explosion between February and September, briefly making it visible to the naked eye. Stay tuned for this cosmic light show. In more dark matter news, the closest dark galaxy yet, just 94 million light years away, was discovered, brimming with dark matter but hardly any stars. Meanwhile, budget pressures in Congress cast uncertainty on NASA's Mars sample return mission. Elsewhere, Saturn's moon Titan turned out to be uninhabitable despite its intriguing methane lakes, but February brought a win with the first detection of water molecules on asteroids, thanks to a flying telescope. And in classic space news reporting form, we had our first obscure size comparison to a random Earth-based object of an asteroid flying somewhat close by to Earth, with the skyscraper-sized asteroid buzzing past Earth in early February. And that calls for a compilation of 2024's weirdest and most wonderfully random asteroid size comparisons with highlights such as a mountain, but which mountain? The Eiffel Tower, 2 house cats, 64 Canada geese, 3 million elephants, and Taylor Swift. Because why measure in meters when you can measure in pop stars? Wondering where all the active supermassive black holes are in the universe? Well, in March, the largest ever map of these cosmic giants was unveiled, pinpointing 1.3 million of them across the universe, some dating back to when the universe was just 1.5 billion years old. Closer to home, one of the oldest stars ever discovered, LMC 119, was found in the Large Magellanic Cloud. It's a second-generation star, formed from the remnants of the universe's first stars. In more dark matter debates, a physicist boldly claimed that there is no need for dark matter and suggested the universe is actually double its accepted age. In more intriguing new theories, at least to me, we may be closer to solving the mystery of the sun's peculiar rotation. The sun doesn't rotate like a solid ball, where all parts of the ball complete a full rotation at the same time. Instead, different parts of the sun rotate at different speeds. This is called differential rotation. The sun's equator spins faster, completing a full rotation once every 24 Earth days, but the poles rotate much slower, taking around 34 days to make a full rotation. Now, the latest research published in March suggests that giant sound waves deep within the sun might act as a braking system, helping to regulate its uneven spin. Star cannibalism was confirmed in a study showing that at least 1 in 12 stars has ingested its planetary offspring. By analysing twin star systems with Gaia data, Australian researchers uncovered these planet signatures, revealing stellar siblings with mismatched chemical compositions. Asteroid Apophis, the so-called God of Darkness asteroid, was cleared again of any risk of hitting Earth during its close 2029 flyby, ruling out any bumps into another asteroid beforehand. Back in November 2023, the Voyager 1 spacecraft gave its best Sabrina Carpenter impression of nonsense outros confusing and intriguing NASA engineers. But after months of troubleshooting and after NASA relived their early 2010s Facebook days tweeting Voyager 1 like their high school crush, sending a poke to get its attention, it was found that a single malfunctioning chip was responsible for the issue. Speaking of NASA, they found themselves in hot water when a piece of space junk crashed through a Florida man's home on the 8th of March, tearing through the roof and 2 floors of the house, almost striking the Florida man's son. NASA investigated the object and found it could be a piece of debris thrown from the International Space Station. Later, the Florida man sued NASA for the damages and stress caused by the event to the tune of $80,000 US. The fact that I said Florida man 3 times, now 4 times in this video is so funny to me. In the ongoing battle for the survival of Slim, the Japanese moonlander surprisingly survived a 2-week freezing lunar night after its bottom-up landing left its solar panels in a less than useful position. Despite this, Slim came back to life for 2 days as sunlight shifted, carrying out scientific observations before the following lunar night. Lastly, Juno's findings dampened hopes for life on Europa, showing its icy surface produces less oxygen than once thought, while T. Corona Borealis remains silent in the stellar explosion watch. The White House Office of Science and Technology Policy announced on the 2nd of April that there is to be a standardized time zone on the moon in accordance with the Biden-Harris administration's National Cislunar Science and Technology Strategy. Thankfully, they didn't announce it on April Fool's Day, otherwise we may not have taken them seriously. Early April also brought the spectacular Great American Eclipse, with the moon casting a shadow from Mexico across 15 US states and parts of Canada. Even the ISS joined in, capturing the event from space after NASA specifically adjusted its path for the perfect view. JWST turned its gaze to the boat, the most powerful explosion ever observed, but surprisingly found no heavy element production in the resulting supernova. Meanwhile, new X-ray data from an odd radio circle called the Cloverleaf hints that galaxy mergers might be behind these mysterious cosmic features. In the search for extraterrestrial life, it turns out we should be looking for purple planets because they could indicate the presence of photosynthetic bacteria, which use bacteriochlorophylls, which absorb colors of light not used by plants, which makes their microbes appear orange, red, or brown. If these bacteria were to populate an exoplanet on a large scale, they could cause the planet to have a distinctly purple hue. Close to home, the most massive stellar black hole yet, 33 times the Sun's mass, was just found 924 light-years away, making it the second closest black hole to Earth. And we now know how Pluto got its heart. A giant splat. Yes, the Nature article literally calls it that. More on that in a future video. Citizen scientists had a major win in April, helping identify over 1,000 new asteroids using 19 years of Hubble data. This teamwork involving the ESA and machine learning is a shining example of collective discovery. JWST also released a photo of the tip of the Horsehead Nebula, and honestly, I expected more. Instead of the whole head, we just got the tip, but at least the background galaxies are pretty sick. Finally, Planet 9 truthers rejoice as the strongest statistical evidence yet for this elusive world was reported. Simulations show that the odd movements of objects beyond Neptune make more sense with Planet 9 in the picture, though its existence remains unproven. Oh, and still no activity from T Corona Borealis. May brought one of the most intense solar storms of modern times, with auroras dazzling at record low latitudes. And I finally saw Aurora Borealis for the first time, and I may have teared up a little. The storm's power was felt even at the ocean floor, with subsea compasses detecting magnetic field distortions 2.7 kilometers deep. Mars wasn't spared either. The storm caused Curiosity's radiation detector to spike to levels equivalent to 30 chest X-rays. MAVEN picked up ultraviolet fluctuations, and static filled Curiosity's photos. On the Sun's surface, a new study revealed that its magnetic field originates surprisingly close to the surface, just 32,000 kilometers deep, shaking up long-held theories, then paving the way for better solar predictions. In black hole news, NASA asked the question, what would it be like to fall into a black hole, and simulated it based on our current scientific knowledge. Viewers be warned, this might cause involuntary existential crises. Yes, crises. Multiple. Many. Lots. Researchers challenged the iconic Event Horizon Telescope image, suggesting the Milky Way's black hole may look elongated rather than circular. Drama! Meanwhile, JWST detected the most distant black hole merger yet, just 740 million years post-Big Bang, highlighting mergers as a key to early black hole growth. History was made again in May 2024 with the discovery of a substantial atmosphere around a rocky exoplanet, a super-Earth named Janssen. And of course, it was achieved with JWST. But what's particularly interesting about Janssen is that it shouldn't really have a substantial atmosphere due to its proximity to its host star. It orbits its parent star, Copernicus, in just 18 hours, causing the daytime temperature to reach 2,573 Kelvin. That intense heat would typically cause the atmosphere to evaporate off the planet. However, the findings suggest that Janssen's atmosphere is likely replenished by gas radiating from an ocean of magma. Astronomers also found a fluffy planet 50% larger than Jupiter, but just 0.14 times its mass, like a cosmic cotton candy fairy floss planet. NASA announced the Habitable Worlds Observatory, designed to directly image Earth-like planets. Could this be the key to finding Earth 2.0? JWST rewound time to the cosmic dawn, revealing 3 galaxies forming just 400 to 600 million years after the Big Bang. But not all old things are far away, because some of the oldest stars in the universe were found right beside the Milky Way galaxy. These three ancient stars show extremely low levels of strontium and barium, elements rare in the early universe, meaning they likely formed between 12 and 13 billion years ago. A quick reminder, by the way, that the universe is 13.8 billion years old. Interestingly, they move in retrograde, opposite to most stars in the galaxy, hinting that they came from a smaller galaxy. Scientists believe this smaller galaxy merged with the Milky Way long ago, leaving these stars as remnants in our galaxy's halo. The month wasn't without its drama, as a paper claimed to find 7 Dyson Sphere candidates, only for another team to debunk 3 of them as hot dogs in a rebuttal paper published just 10 days later. Science rivalry at its finest. Find out more about this drama in my video from earlier in 2024. Mission milestones included Perseverance hitting 1,000 days of exploration on the Red Planet, and the Euclid Space Telescope unveiled its first stunning images of the universe in its quest to unravel the mysteries of dark matter and dark energy. And to finish us off for May, we got this epic shot of the most volcanically active place in the solar system, Jupiter's hellish moon, Io. And no, it wasn't taken by JWST. In genuine surprise, it was actually taken with a telescope on Earth's surface, specifically the Large Binocular Telescope on Mount Graham in Arizona. Wait, that's not actually the image the article's talking about? That was taken with the New Horizons spacecraft when it passed by Jupiter? Wait, no, the caption's wrong, and it was actually an image taken in 1997 by the Galileo spacecraft. Well, that's unfortunate and a misleading mistake. Well, let's see the actual images then. Okay, yeah, that's much closer to what I expected for a ground-based telescope, but it's still pretty cool. June brought a host of cosmic revelations. China achieved another lunar milestone, landing a probe on the moon's far side to collect samples, a first for this region. Meanwhile, Voyager 1 finally ended its Sabrina Carpenter impression, getting back online with all 4 instruments providing usable science data. JWST continued its winning streak, revealing an aligned cluster of protostellar outflows in the Serpens Nebula. Normally, these gas jets of newborn stars point in random directions, but here, 14 of 17 outflows align within 30 degrees, with 8 within 10 degrees, a statistical impossibility by chance. This alignment suggests that stars inherit their spin from their parent gas cloud, and JWST's near-infrared prowess made this groundbreaking discovery possible. Mars surprised us too, with frost found near its equator, particularly on the Tharsis volcanoes, unexpected given the intense sunlight and thin atmosphere. Plus, Perseverance discovered popcorn rocks, evidence of ancient water flows. Jupiter stole the show with 4 fascinating discoveries. JWST captured glowing arcs, bands, and spots in its atmosphere, while researchers found new insights into the Great Red Spot's shrinking. Once spanning 39,000 kilometers in the 1800s, it's now just 14,000 kilometers wide, barely wider than Earth. The culprit? Poor storm snacking habits. It's not devouring smaller storms efficiently enough to sustain itself. Even the storm's age is up for debate, with new models suggesting it's only about 150 years old, meaning earlier observations might have been of a different storm altogether. And in dark matter news? But wait, Kirsten, you said there were 4 papers published about Jupiter in June. And indeed I did, because the last Jupiter-related paper suggests that Jupiter could hold a smoking gun for signals of dark matter. Scientists believe Jupiter is an ideal place to observe dark matter annihilation due to its large size, which could efficiently capture dark matter, and its relatively cool core, which prevents the particles from sinking too deep before annihilating. This process would ionize hydrogen atoms in Jupiter's ionosphere, creating an excess of trihydrogen cations that emit infrared light, a potential dark matter signal. Data from probes similar to the Cassini spacecraft could help detect this signal. In other news, a mysterious radio signal from the Milky Way kept astronomers awake at night. T Corona Borealis remained as elusive as ever. Oh, and NASA officially picked SpaceX to deorbit the ISS. Stay tuned for destruction plans later this year. July started out with a stunning image from JWST, and while it may not look as visually stunning as previous photos snapped by the Epic Space Telescope, this one shows something we don't often see with such detail. It's a baby star being born. It's still encased within the cosmic cloud that gave it life. So as far as stellar births go, it's practically crowning. To celebrate the Chandra X-ray Observatory's 25th anniversary, it joined forces with Earth and space-based telescopes to unveil 25 breathtaking unseen images, showcasing the universe in a whole new light. Meanwhile, JWST also turned its gaze to the exoplanet LHS-1140b, which may be an eyeball planet. The warm Iris region of this odd world could host temperatures of just 20 degrees Celsius, just right for potential marine ecosystems. In planetary news, a team of researchers from the United States and Canada investigated the potential for a new definition of a planet. But does that mean there could be justice for Pluto? Unfortunately not. The new proposal posits that a planet is a celestial body that 1. Orbits one or more stars, brown dwarfs, or stellar remnants, and 2. Is more massive than 10 to the 23 kilograms, and 3. Is less massive than 13 Jupiter masses. Unfortunately for Pluto, it weighs in at about 10 to the 22 kilograms, 10 times lower than the proposed mass limit. But will this definition take hold? Only time will tell. Mars made headlines with Curiosity accidentally cracking open a rock revealing rare elemental sulfur, a mystery scientists are eager to solve. And over on the Moon, China's Chang'e 5 mission discovered a water-rich mineral in the lunar soil, deepening our understanding of our celestial neighbour. July also brought big black hole discoveries. Scientists identified a missing link intermediate mass black hole in Omega Centauri, a globular cluster orbiting the Milky Way. Measuring the motion of 1.4 million stars, they found 7 zooming so fast they should have escaped, but instead they're bound to a black hole with a mass of 8,200 suns. Just days later, another intermediate mass black hole was uncovered near the Milky Way's center in IRS 13, a star cluster. Despite its chaotic location near the galaxy's supermassive black hole, IRS 13 maintains a surprisingly compact shape, held together by a black hole about 30,000 times the sun's mass. With these discoveries, the tally of intermediate mass black holes reached 10 by mid-July 2024. Towards the end of the month, JWST took its first direct image of an exoplanet. Adorable. Finally, NASA and SpaceX unveiled a dramatic plan to retire the ISS. A custom Dragon spacecraft upgraded with extra propellant and 46 Draco engines will deorbit the station, guiding it safely to an ocean grave in the South Pacific by 2031. Fittingly, the Dragon that once pioneered commercial docking will also write the ISS's final chapter. Exciting news came in August with scientists pinpointing the origins of the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, a rare carbonaceous chondrite from the outer solar system beyond Jupiter's orbit. By analysing ruthenium isotopes in ancient sediments, they linked the asteroid to a region far from the more common Silicus asteroids near the Sun. The big mystery? How did this distant rock slip past Jupiter's gravitational defences to reach Earth? Meanwhile, the idea of making Mars habitable got a glittering twist. Researchers proposed releasing nanoscopic metal rods into Mars's atmosphere to create a reflective glitter cloud. This would trap heat, melting surface ice, releasing carbon dioxide, and boosting atmospheric pressure, potentially creating a haven for photosynthetic microbes and kickstarting Martian terraforming. Remember the wow signal? A naturally occurring space laser might finally explain the mysterious signal. Check out my earlier video for all the details. JWST dazzled again, capturing an image that revealed 6 rogue planets, free floating objects with planet-like masses unbound by stars. These planets challenge conventional theories of planet formation, suggesting that some may form like stars rather than in stellar disks like planets. Even more exciting, rogue planets might account for up to 10% of star cluster objects and could host their own miniature planetary systems with moons. Black holes stole the show again with 2 major developments. First, simulations unveiled the epic sequence of a black hole devouring a star from slurp to burp. Then, the Event Horizon Telescope set a new resolution record, capturing observations sharp enough to spot a bottle cap on the Moon. While we're still waiting on new images, these observations promise groundbreaking insights. New research using data from the Gaia and Hubble space telescopes indicated that the highly anticipated galactic collision between the Milky Way and Andromeda may come down to a coin toss within the next 10 billion years. If the collision does occur, the new research suggests that it will happen much later than previously estimated, around 7.6 billion years from now. This is significantly longer than the previous estimate of 4 to 5 billion years. More research is needed to determine the definitive fate of the Milky Way and Andromeda. And upcoming data releases from the Gaia Space Telescope could provide a clearer picture on the galaxy's trajectories and interactions. Finally, one of astronomy's most famous theories took a hit. New research questions the giant impact hypothesis for the moon's formation, the idea that a Mars-sized object collided with Earth billions of years ago. While this theory explains similarities between Earth and moon minerals, scientists are finding a lack of definitive evidence to support such a dramatic origin story. September started with a bang. Literally. A surprise asteroid burned up over the Philippines after being detected just hours earlier. At about 1 meter wide, it posed no threat to Earth, but it was a fantastic test for automated asteroid detection systems, proving their ability to catch even small cosmic visitors before they make it to Earth. Speaking of asteroids, Bennu, the asteroid sampled in 2023, might help us uncover a fifth fundamental force. This hypothetical force, linked to ultralight particles associated with dark matter, could subtly influence the orbits of massive objects. In more dark matter news, primordial black holes, one proposed dark matter candidate, might reveal themselves through subtle wobbles in the orbits of the inner planets like Mercury and Mars. Current technology could detect these gravitational nudges, but first, scientists must rule out alternative explanations like undiscovered asteroids. If confirmed, primordial black holes could unlock a major piece in the dark matter puzzle. Meanwhile, simulations of ultra-faint dwarf galaxies suggest that dark matter might interact with regular matter in ways beyond just gravity. This new model aligns slightly better with observations, hinting at a more complex role for dark matter in shaping the universe. Closer to home, astrophysicists uncovered enormous magnetic fields threading through the Milky Way's dark matter halo. These filaments of magnetization, if visible, would stretch across the sky, appearing to be 150 times the width of the full moon. NASA launched an experimental solar sail probe propelled entirely by sunlight, and SpaceX made history with the first commercial spaceflight featuring private citizens. The biggest discovery in September? The largest structure ever seen emanating from a single galaxy. Porphyrion. This 23 million light-year-long behemoth powered by a supermassive black hole dwarfs any galactic jet system we've ever observed. A study published in September 2024 hints at the possibility that the moon was actually stolen by Earth's gravity.
Next, we are going to steal the moon!
This has happened before in the solar system, with Neptune's largest moon, Triton, experiencing characteristics of a captured history. The study suggests that it is possible that the moon could have been captured by Earth earlier in its history, since the moon's orbit around Earth isn't perfectly aligned with the equator, and mathematical models show that Earth's gravity could have captured an object the size and mass of the moon. However, this capture theory faces challenges, the most notable being that the composition of the moon and Earth are strikingly similar, which strongly supports the current leading theory of the giant impact hypothesis. Another new hypothesis popped up on the scene in September, with one study suggesting that Earth could have had its own ring system just like Saturn nearly 500 million years ago. Meanwhile, ESA's JUICE spacecraft, en route to Jupiter's ocean-bearing moons, tested its instruments by confirming Earth's habitability. A seemingly obvious test, but calibrating the tools this way ensures accuracy when probing Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa for signs of life. After being directed by US Congress in April to figure out a standardized time on the moon, NASA is officially going ahead with plans to set an official lunar time zone. The existence of Coordinated Lunar Time, or LTC for short, aims to standardize timekeeping on the moon, crucial for future missions and lunar bases. Challenges in developing a useful lunar time zone include syncing clocks between Earth and the moon due to gravitational differences, as moon clocks gain 56 microseconds daily. Finally, all eyes are on T Corona Borealis, a star expected to go supernova this year. While early reports suggested it would have exploded by now, the sky remains quiet. Will it light up before 2024 ends? Stay tuned to find out. October 2024 saw a series of record-breaking space discoveries that truly blew our minds. First up, a star system that defies imagination. 3 stars locked in an orbit so tight that the entire system fits within the orbit of Mercury. If you're thinking the 3-body problem, you're spot on. These stars are on a collision course destined to crash into each other in about 20 million years. Talk about cosmic drama. Then we've got a neutron star that's spinning faster than anything we've ever seen before. At an incredible 716 times per second, this star is setting the bar for fast rotations in the universe. And in the world of black holes, we witnessed another first, a trinary black hole system. V404 Cygni, once known for its binary system with a black hole and a regular star, has now revealed a third star on a much wider orbit, making it the first confirmed trinary black hole system. A whole new level of cosmic complexity. In more dark matter news, primordial black holes took center stage once again. This time, researchers proposed that these tiny black holes might be hiding inside asteroids, moons, or even planets, including Earth. If these black holes are quietly consuming the cores of celestial bodies, leaving hollowed-out shells behind, finding such structures in our solar system could provide fascinating proof for this dark matter theory. It's an intriguing possibility, but I'm definitely keeping a cautious eye on this one. But the plot thickens. Another October study suggested black holes might be driving dark energy itself. The theory of cosmological coupling proposes that as the universe expands, black holes grow, and by studying black holes in dead galaxies, scientists have found evidence that supports this idea. Even more mind-blowing, the rate of black hole formation seems to align with the rise of dark energy, suggesting that black holes could be converting regular matter into dark energy. If this turns out to be true, it could explain the accelerated expansion of the universe and the missing matter we're still looking for. On a lighter note, humanity is gearing up for its return to the moon in 2026, and this time we're doing it with style. Prada and Axiom Space revealed their sleek, futuristic spacesuit design, proving that you can look good even when exploring the lunar surface. And in a bit of fun NASA news, the agency beamed a cat video from deep space using every cat and physicist's favorite toy, lasers, in an experiment where science meets the internet in the most cosmic way. On the mission front, the Europa Clipper, which had been delayed by Hurricane Milton, finally launched, and to add to the iconic moments of 2024, astronauts aboard the International Space Station captured the hurricane from space. Lastly, October marked the official start of the Sun's solar maximum period. This phase isn't just a single peak, it can last for over a year. Expect stunning aurora displays around the world as the Sun's activity increases, continuing for the next year or so before it enters a quieter phase. November 2024 brought several mind-boggling space discoveries, starting with a supermassive black hole at the heart of galaxy LID-568. This black hole is gobbling up stellar material at a rate 40 times greater than the theoretical Eddington limit, the maximum rate at which light can push material away from a black hole. To explain this a bit, when material falls towards a black hole, it forms a swirling disk. The closest material gets pulled in, while friction from the spinning disk heats it up and causes it to shine brightly. This light creates an outward pressure that can counteract the black hole's inward pull, creating the Eddington limit. This new discovery challenges that limit and could help answer a major cosmic question. How did supermassive black holes grow so fast in the early universe? Moving to another cosmic mystery, we may be getting closer to solving the riddle of fast radio bursts. These ultra-powerful bursts of radio light last just milliseconds to a few seconds and are almost impossible to predict. In 2020, we traced one fast radio burst in the Milky Way to a magnetar, a neutron star with an insanely strong magnetic field. Now, a new study in November 2024 found that most fast radio bursts come from galaxies with a lot of young stars. If fast radio bursts are linked to magnetars, it makes sense that these bursts would come from regions rich in youthful, short-lived stars. In a new twist on our understanding of the Milky Way, a study of 101 galaxies found that the Milky Way is lonelier than expected. Compared to similar galaxies, it has fewer satellite galaxies, and the smaller ones have stopped forming stars. Could the Milky Way be toxic to its cosmic companions? In November, Einstein's general theory of relativity passed one of its biggest tests yet. Astronomers mapped nearly 6 million galaxies over 11 billion years and found that their distribution across the cosmic web aligns perfectly with Einstein's predictions. Go Einstein! We also got a glimpse of colossal galaxies from the early universe that challenge what we thought we knew about galaxy formation in the universe's infancy. JWST didn't disappoint, giving us an incredible image of the Sombrero Galaxy. This detailed shot revealed previously unseen features, including the smooth inner disk and clumps in the outer disk. Back closer to home, Uranus is mysteriously cooling down, and we finally have an answer. The cooling unique to Uranus is likely caused by changes in the solar wind, the continuous stream of particles emitted by the sun. Voyager 1 experienced technical difficulties again in October 2024, forcing it to switch on a radio that hadn't been used since 1981. But it worked, at least for now, with science data collection on the space probe to cease after 2025 due to a dwindling power supply, and it's predicted that we won't be able to communicate with the space probe at all by 2036. And it wouldn't be right to talk about what happened in space news in November of 2024 without mentioning the US congressional hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena, exposing the truth. During the hearing, they sought to increase transparency about secret UAP research programs, expose potential government disinformation campaigns, and uncover the truth about UAPs and their implications. While no concrete evidence was presented, the hearing underscored calls for greater accountability and continued congressional investigation. Could we see more of this in 2025? Only time will tell. December 2024 brought more intriguing updates, starting with Venus and its potential habitability. Venus is often referred to as a failed Earth, with earlier theories suggesting it might have once had oceans of liquid water, a key ingredient for life. However, a December study challenged this idea. Researchers examined how water, carbon dioxide, and carbonyl sulfide break down in Venus's atmosphere and concluded that the planet's interior had likely been dry throughout its history. This suggests that Venus may never have been capable of supporting liquid water or life as we know it. Staying in the solar system, the moon's age has been a topic of debate for years, with conflicting results making it tough to pinpoint a definitive birthday. If you're into lunar magma ocean crystallization, and honestly, who isn't, you'd say the moon is 4.35 billion years old, or 4.35 giganums, as geologists like to call it. Cool unit, by the way. But wait, thermal evolution models suggest 4.425 giganums, while rubidium-strontium dating points to 4.51 giganums, and hafnium-tungsten clocks say 4.52 giganums. So what's the final answer? Well, new results from Nimmo et al. Suggest that 4.35 giganums isn't entirely wrong. The moon's clock may have been reset by tidal heating and melting. Think of it like a cosmic facelift. Now we have a clearer idea of the moon's age, but good luck finding enough candles for that birthday cake. JWST ended the year on a high note by observing a baby Milky Way from the farthest light we can see, offering us a glimpse of what our cosmic infant days may have looked like. And I reckon based on this view, we cleared it pretty well. In another cosmic photo moment, remember the first ever direct image of a black hole from 2018? Well, that iconic shot of the giant M87 star black hole wasn't alone. 6 years later, a new paper revealed that a high-energy gamma-ray flare was photobombing the scene. Talk about perfect timing. Christmas Eve saw NASA make a record-breaking close approach to the Sun, with the Parker Solar Probe getting within a mere 6.1 million kilometers. We're getting closer and closer to winning our cosmic game of chicken with the Sun. Our search for life took an unexpected turn. While we've always thought that planets were essential for life, new research suggests that we may not need them after all. Scientists from Scotland and the US proposed that a biologically generated barrier could mimic planetary conditions by allowing visible light for photosynthesis while blocking harmful UV radiation, preventing the loss of important compounds, and maintaining temperature and pressure for liquid water. The organisms creating such barriers would likely look very unusual, though it's probably best they don't develop skibbity toilet technology. In other exciting news, colleagues of mine published 3 new papers on a galaxy-sized gravitational wave detector that measured the hum of space. They found an unexpected hotspot where the universe is humming louder than expected. Just another reminder of how much we still have to discover. NASA's Perseverance rover reached the rim of Jezero crater on Mars in December, where it will continue its mission to collect samples and expand our understanding of the red planet. A new study suggested that a massive rogue planet larger than Jupiter might have passed through our solar system billions of years ago. This rogue planet's gravity could have nudged the orbits of the planets, giving them the slightly elliptical paths we observe today. Now, while we don't have direct proof of this, computer simulations show it's a plausible explanation. For years, scientists thought Saturn's rings were relatively young, formed only a few 100 million years ago due to their pristine appearance. But new research published in December suggests that these rings might actually be as old as the solar system itself. It turns out that Saturn has a trick to keep its rings sparkling clean. Meteorites constantly crashing into them can turn cosmic dust into charged particles, which are swept away by the planet's powerful magnetic field. So Saturn's rings are getting a cosmic cleaning every day. Someone needs to build a robot vacuum called Saturn, like right now. Another groundbreaking discovery in December involved the first ever observation of a binary star system orbiting the supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way. Scientists had suspected these systems existed, but this is the first time one has been directly observed, confirming their predictions and opening up new avenues of research. Finally, the star that was supposed to briefly light up the night sky this year, T Corona Borealis, has still yet to show up. Maybe we'll catch a glimpse of it in 2025. And that's space news wrapped for 2024. Before we close off this video, I want to give a big shout out to some of the incredible science and space news sites that I trust and constantly go back to for my cosmic updates. Sites like Science Alert, Universe Today, phys.org, and The Conversation are my go-to sources for the latest and greatest in space and science news. They do an amazing job of breaking down complex discoveries and keeping us all informed about the universe's many mysteries. If you've enjoyed this journey through 2024's biggest space stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things cosmic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these stories. Did any of them surprise you, inspire you, or make you look at the universe differently? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for spending time with me today, and as always, keep looking up because the universe always has more to show us. See you next time. Done. So much space news.